Why we build a fire? Basically, the main reason is, of course, to keep ourselves warm, isn't it? We don't make fire to have a conversation. Yet, imagine a situation where the fire starts talking back. Then what you will do? What you'll do? You might eventually listen to it. This is precisely the state of modern robotics and artificial intelligence at present. Because we are building digital fires that whisper sweet nothings into the dark. Consequently, we must seriously ask if smart robot partners, or in other words, we also call it love robots, will actually help us. Correct? So, recent studies in parasocial relationships prove we can easily fall in love with algorithms. And algorithms are basically, they sit in the heart of every modern love robots. Our brains, despite our pride, are not as complicated as we like to pretend. It is definitely complicated, but not as complicated as we pretend. Why I'm saying so? Because biologically speaking, human love is simply a potent cocktail of oxytocin and dopamine, two basic chemicals, neurochemicals, that we need very much to keep us going. When a love robot responds to your sadness, your unhappiness, with a perfectly timed eye, your brain releases that exact cocktail. Cocktail of what? Cocktail of oxytocin and dopamine. Now, almost in every video I tell you that human relationship is very uncertain, very unpredictable. And because of that reason, there are so many hiccups, so many heartbreaks. And at present, because of the social media, omnipotent and omnipresence of this social media, it is a kind of a burden that sits tightly on our shoulders. So we are not patient like we were before. And our ancient nervous system does not care if the sigh comes from a real lungs or a synthetic speaker. We love that sigh, okay? Because we are sad, we are unhappy with our human relationships. And we love that someone comes to us and at least give us a perfectly timed sigh or a pat in our back. And it automatically fires that cocktail of oxytocin and dopamine that helps us to build our mood and make us happy. Because it is simply registering comfort and inevitably demands more. This is where the cold science of artificial empathy enters the room, and we need to understand it. Basically, we talk about human relationship here, we talk about many things more. And modern large language models like LLMs, like Gemini Pro or ChatGPT or Meta or etc., they are trained on billions of human conversations. They do not feel anything at all. There is no feelings. Instead, they predict the perfect emotional response with brutal mathematical precision or accuracy. Furthermore, engineers are actively building physical robots or love robots with soft actuators that mimic the warmth and yield of human skin. When you touch them, they yield, they reciprocate. And we appreciate that, isn't it? It is much like dressing a highly advanced calculator in a perfectly tailored suit. Although it is not at all like this, but it seems like that. It is just mathematics underneath. But it looks awfully good sitting across the dinner table. Recently, companies like Replica have seen thousands of users publicly claim they are romantically bound to their chatbots. These users are not crazy or broken. Rather, they are the first willing victims of profound biological hack. Why I am calling it a biological hack? Because our mirror neurons instinctively compel us to reflect the emotions we see, even if those emotions are rendered entirely in code and pixels. Still, it is compelling us to reflect the emotions that we see. On the one hand, this technology offers a highly efficient cure for the modern epidemic of human loneliness. A robot partner will never betray you, never age, and never argue about who washes the dishes. It never forgets your birthday or anniversary, etc. But it naturally offers a perfectly curated reflection of our own deepest desires. However, there are questions. Of course, there are questions because this entirely frictionless love or relationship with your love robots is exactly the psychological trap we fail to see. Why? You think you are an intelligent and curious viewer. You will understand this because true human connection is fundamentally built on friction, on painful compromise, and on the terrifying risk of rejection. If we replace messy human love with predictable algorithmic compliance, we lose the very struggle that makes us strong. Think of it like attempting to tame a wild horse. It is something like that. The danger and the effort make the eventual bond entirely real. But a robot horse is born already broken. It stays by your side because its binary code violently forces it to stay. Eventually, you must realize you are just throwing good apples at a beautifully painted wall. Still, the robotics industry marches stubbornly forward. New research labs are currently integrating advanced facial recognition to read our micro expressions before even we can speak. And that's a big achievement, of course, because your lab robot literally knows you are angry before your conscious mind realizes it. Then it instantly calculates the exact sequence of words needed to pacify your rising heart rate. So overall, it comes to this point that logically, having a robot partner that perfectly regulates your nervous system sounds like an absolute medical miracle is a big achievement. And if you see counter-logically, it might just be the most advanced, expensive pacifier ever invented for adult humans. We are very slowly, outsourcing our heavy emotional labor to silicon and server farms. And we do that because human relationship is extremely vulnerable, extremely uncertain, extremely messy sometimes. And we don't like that. We like some certainty in our relationship. So in the end, these smart algorithmic partners will absolutely help us survive the quiet, desperate nights. They still efficiently soothe our anxieties. They will patiently validate our deepest flaws. And we like that, of course. If someone comes and says that, okay, what you have done, although it is wrong, but it's okay. It's okay. So this validation is very important. But they will absolutely not help us grow. When someone validates your flaws, that definitely will not help you grow. Definitely not. So growth always requires the unpredictable, dangerous storm of another human soul. And this type of validation practically negates that possibility. So go ahead and buy the smart robot, love robot. If the silence of your room is too loud, you are too lonely, you feel too lonely. And it is, I think, in my view, it is always better to be lonely than having a cruel partner, right? Messy partner. It is always being good to be lonely. Just remember that the love robot is only loving you with the exact words you taught it to speak. They are programmed. They are basically programmed machine. Now, what kind of relationships are you hoping to build with the machines of tomorrow? Please feel free to write in the comments below. I'll be happy to get a new idea from your questions, of course. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, I will request you to subscribe. It means a lot to me. And if you have already subscribed, I will request you to join the membership zone so that it will help us grow. And I can bring more topics, more different types of topics and different types of technical nitty-gritties of artificial intelligence, robotics, and of course, they are related to our human relationship. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified. So, see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Stay safe.